Vice President and I met with the Prime Minister yesterday. I know they had dinner with the President last night. So, we have a relationship with them as well. We've been working on a number of things with them. They've been, for example, very helpful in the DRC, Rwanda, or with the M23. They've been hosting those talks. So we had a visit there earlier this year. I did, and then went back a second time with the President. So they've been good partners on a number of fronts.
What about the President's plane, Mr. Secretary? Is there any questions or is it impacted in any way?
It never came up with me or in any conversation we had.
Are you concerned at all that they may follow through on their threat to do strikes again in Qatar?
Who's this, Israeli?
Israelis.
Yeah, look, we're going to meet with them. We're going to talk about what the future holds and what I'm going to get a much better understanding of what their plans are moving forward. What's happened has happened. Obviously, we were not happy about it. The President was not happy about it. Now we need to move forward and figure out what comes next. Because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, there is still a group called Hamas, which is an evil group that still has weapons and is terrorizing. There is still 48 hostages that deserve to be released immediately, all at once. And there is still the hard work ahead of, once this ends, of rebuilding Gaza in a way that provides people the quality of life that they all want. And who's going to do that? Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to be in charge of it? So all that work is still there to be done. All that still needs to be dealt with.
סליחה חבר'ה, לא...
מאבטח, אפשר? אנחנו לא רואים. אנסור, אתה לא יכול לעמוד שם.
לא. מאבטח, הזמינו אותנו לצלם, לא אותך.
אפשר אלינו? אדוני ראש הממשלה, אפשר טיפה אחורה?
איפה הוא נעלם? לא בשבילם.
Israeli forces destroyed at least 30 residential buildings in Gaza City and forced thousands of people from their homes, Palestinian officials have said, as US Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in the region for talks on Sunday. His visit comes amid tensions with fellow US allies in the Middle East over Israel's strike on Hamas leaders in Qatar last week. US officials have described Tuesday's strike on the territory of a close US ally as a unilateral escalation that did not serve American or Israeli interests. Israel has said it plans to seize Gaza City as part of its declared aim of eliminating Hamas, and has intensified attacks on what it says is the militant group's last bastion. Residents were said to have been given evacuation orders shortly before the bombing of buildings, which forced dozens of families to abandon makeshift shelters. Zakia Al-Zain is among the displaced. She said that as Israeli strikes hit residential towers, they got scared for the children and fled, leaving their clothes and everything else behind. Meanwhile, Rubio was visiting the Western Wall in Jerusalem with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Rubio said Washington wanted to talk about how to return 48 hostages from Gaza, of whom 20 are believed to be alive, and how to rebuild the enclave.
I'm going to get a much better understanding of what their plans are moving forward. What's happened has happened. Obviously, we were not happy about it. The President was not happy about it. Now we need to move forward and figure out what comes next. Our relationship with Israel is going to remain strong. And sometimes, things happen or come up in those relationships that perhaps you're not 100% aligned with or what have you. But it's not going to change the nature of our relationship with the Israelis.
I think his visit here is a testament to the durability the strength of the Israeli-American alliance. It's as strong and as durable as the stones of the Western world that we just touched.
Good afternoon. This is Sundays with Sky. I'm your host, Sky. A lot with that video. I mean, in these videos, they call them the small hats. It's like you gotta come up with a better name because all the major religions have small hats. The Christians have zucchettis, among others, head coverings. The Muslims have kufis, and of course, the Jews have yarmulkes. So they're all small hats, and we've been waging wars and fighting wars because of small hats for millennia now. It's a little out of hand. It's a bit distressing. So I see Secretary Rubio with his yarmulke on his head. Do you have to have a yarmulke on your head just to be in the presence of the wall, to touch the wall? What is the protocol with that? What is the etiquette there? I don't know. I still have to figure that out. But Netanyahu was speaking on the United States alliance. They were talking about I'm going to pronounce this right. Qatar. I knew Qatar. The Qatari strike on a Hamas target that was pinpointed by Israeli operatives. I'm stupid. I don't get war. I don't understand it. I'm a Marine. I know how to take orders. I can make decisions. But the upper level, the generals and the commanders in chief, I don't understand why they don't just nuke them. Just nuke them. Just wipe out their entire civilization. And not just, we're going to bomb this site. They bomb us. We're going to bomb them. They bomb us. Go back and forth. Just put nukes just nuke Tehran, Iran. Completely devastate that whole area. Everything. Just completely level it to dust. That's what I want to see. I want to see the strongholds where Hamas is holding out. I want to see them turn absolutely to ash and tinder and litter. I don't understand why that hasn't happened yet. I'm stupid. I don't get geopolitical relations. I don't understand it. I don't understand how we have all these nukes. What are the nukes for? Are the nukes just to say, look, nigga, like, are we got a problem? Like, is it just to say, look, just in case you want to get cute, you want to get real cute, we can get the nuking, but we didn't get nuking after 9/11. The irony, ultimate irony. I've spoken about this before. The super irony. If there was ever a chance for us to use nuclear weapons, that was the time. But see, we couldn't define our enemy. That was our failure. That was the United States' failure to define our enemy. The leaders of Islamic totalitarianism. That's huge words. Just means the takeover, the jihadi takeover of the world, essentially. They want total control, total power over all of the infidels, quote unquote, and all the people that are even under them and that are sympathetic to their cause. They want to continue to rule over them. But I just don't understand it. I just don't understand the meetings, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to have ceasefires and peace talks. Let's have super fires and war talk continually. Let's continue the war talk. And I hate that those terms. Oh, he's hawkish. He's hawkish. Or he's dovish. He's dovish. What is it? Well, and Cold War and Ayn Rand did all of this. She went across all the way down with this. She was beautiful in her rendering of what the terminology and the language that is espoused by everyone basically in the media and politics and stuff like that. There should be no hawks and doves in war. Let there be, if there's any animal, let there be an eagle. Eagles fly high and they fly alone. Okay? Let that be a notion that needs to be said. And then the temperatures for war. Oh, it's a cold war. Oh, it was a hot war. Why? Just say it's a war. There's no cold war. There's no hot war. It's just war. War is war. You can't boil it down in any other sense. People die. People are threatened to die. And that's the whole case of hot war and cold war. So Rubio visiting with Prime Minister Netanyahu. I don't even know what the hell it means. It means something beyond me. I'm stupid. I don't really realize it. I'm waiting for people to come in to say, no, dumbass, this is what the reality is. This is the truth. This is what's supposed to be. This is what's happening. I'm waiting on that moment. Let's see. One person on Facebook is watching me. Nobody on YouTube is watching me. That's funny. Okay. So I think I have a big fat 0 with them. Still one watching. Okay. All right. I'll take that. One watching. It should be 2. One watching on YouTube, one watching Facebook. Anyway, I want them to just break it down to me like a 5-year-old. Like, why can't we just nuke them? Why can't we just nuke them? I have to ask Dr. Brooke. Dr. Brooke will know. I have to ask Mr. Troy Star Terrain. He'll know. Why can't we just nuke them? I just. And what is the point of having nukes if you don't use them? There has to be a point where it's like, this is to show our military might. This is to show that we have enough in our armory to say that we have, might. We have a fighting chance in case something happened. I don't know. It just throws me for a loop when it comes to different discussions like this. I don't know what to do. I get the information, but I'm like, okay, so what the hell do I do with that? I don't know what to do. I'm just Sky. I'm a man of substance. I'm a Marine. I'm just trying to figure all this out. I just don't understand it. I want to see nuclear weapons in place. I want to see Tehran flattened. I want to see Gaza flattened. Men, women, and children, from the youngest crawling to the oldest walking. Everybody getting caught up. You want to see the rapture so much? You want to see you want to see Allah? You want to see God so much? Well, we can make that happen for you. In the words of Pusha T, the rapper from Clips, he said, I'm gonna paraphrase. I don't know if I can say it right, but he said, your body don't like your soul, we can help you free it. Or your soul don't like your body, we can help you free it. That's what I think he said. Facebook still holding on. Okay, I see you. Yeah, I just want to see nuclear warfare. That's the thing with like games. There will be no video games, I think. I know of. I don't know if any, but there's always first-person shooters. You're shooting and on the ground and everything like that. You're in a plane or you're in a jet. You're in a spaceship. You're doing all kinds of stuff. Just nuke. There'll be no game. Game over. That's it. Delete. Delete their whole civilization if they even have one. Just delete it all. Make it go away. I can't stress it enough. Let's go to another video.
7:10 right now. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is meeting with Israeli officials following a strike inside Qatar last week. As Christian Benavides reports, this comes as President Donald Trump wrote a letter to NATO about the war in Ukraine, urging them to stop the purchase of Russian oil.
The Israeli military struck more targets inside Gaza this weekend as Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Tel Aviv Sunday, where he is set to meet with Israeli officials about the ongoing war against Hamas. On the agenda, discussion about Israel's strike in Qatar targeting Hamas officials last week.
I was very unhappy about the way that went down.
Our relationship with Israel is going to remain strong, and sometimes, things happen or come up in those relationships that perhaps you're not 100% aligned with or what have you, but it's not going to change the nature of our relationship with the Israelis, but we are going to have to talk about it.
The visit by Secretary Rubio comes as President Trump wrote a letter to NATO over the war between Ukraine and Russia, writing the alliance must agree to place major sanctions on Russia and stop buying Russian oil. As you know, NATO's commitment to win has been far less than 100%, and the purchase of Russian oil by
in Qatar's capital, Doha, which failed to kill its top leaders, infuriating one of the U.S.'s staunchest allies in the Middle East. Rubio telling reporters President Trump is not happy about the Israeli strike, but adding that it will not change the nature of the relationship between Israel and the U.S., and reiterating the U.S.'s support and shared goals of defeating Hamas and bringing home the 48 hostages who are still being held in Gaza. The Israeli Prime Minister's office says that the two will meet today for talks, including the annexation of parts of the occupied West Bank. And this is in response to some Western countries getting ready to recognize a Palestinian state. The two will also discuss what happens next in Gaza. And as those talks unfold, Israel's attacks in Gaza are intensifying overnight. And early this morning, the IDF launching airstrikes in Gaza City, killing at least 35 people and pummeling buildings they say are being used by Hamas. The IDF once again warning people in Gaza City ahead of a massive ground operation, issuing evacuation orders for them to leave and head south. So, with this looming ground offensive, what is clear is that the war in Gaza is not ending anytime soon. Whit.
Well, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio visited the Western Wall today after Rubio landed in Israel. The wall is considered to be very holy and is a sacred place for prayer for Jewish people. Rubio's trip to Israel will be focusing on the Israel-Hamas war and finding a way to end it. This despite Israel's attack on Hamas leaders in Qatar. Rubio saying President Donald Trump was not happy with the Israeli strike, but emphasized relations between the U.S. and Israel are still very strong.
חבר'ה, לא...
מאבטח, אפשר? אנחנו לא רואים. עצור, אתה לא יכול לעמוד שם.
לא, 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 לא. מאבטח, הזמינו אותנו לצלם, לא אותך.
אפשר אלינו? אדוני ראש הממשלה, אפשר טיפה אחורה? טיפה אלינו. לא רואים. Can you please look at this? Thank you. אדוני הרב, הזו. הרב. אוקיי, כל הדברים בבקשה תפנו עכשיו את המקום לאנשים. כן, אבל אין לנו... בבקשה, לתת גם לאנשים לצלם. כן. חבר'ה, היה לכם התחייבות, על הכיסאות, לרדת למטה. אולי אתם אומרים also take picture. חוץ חיים יש לו.
So many questions. It just, why is this nigga rocking back and forth? They've been doing that for millennia. It means something. Everything. That's what I don't like about faith, but like everything has a name and everything means something. Like it's ironic because everything. Oh, that's a shillelagh. Oh, that's a that's a yarmulke. That's a that's the hadith. That's halal. Everything that's kosher. Everything has some kind of designation. It's weird. It's very strange because it's like, for what? It's all for non-existent, a zero, the unknown and the unknowable. That's what it's all for. And that's what's scary. That's frightening because we've been slaughtering each other for millennia over something that doesn't even exist. That is the root of all evil. Irrationality. Not money or the love of money. That's not the root of all evil. The irrationality is the root of all evil. Emotionalism is the root of all evil. It's so weird to me. It's just, I was just in church today and they had, they have the names like pastor, they have, pew, and well, they didn't have pews, they have chairs now, but they have the worship team and they have everything. They come up, they sing songs and they come up and have the message, the word delivered unto you, via the speaker known as the pastor. It's just so weird, so strange. So I'm just perplexed. I'm in a constant state of just confusion because I want to go up and say, why are you wearing your little hats? Catholics, why are you wearing your little hats? Is Muslims, Sunnis, why are you wearing your little hats? What is a sect of Judaism? Orthodox Jews. Kentucky. Kill yourself. The Star Report. That was cute. Please kill yourself. That's what I mean by Kentucky. KY. Kentucky is the name for kill yourself. KY. Kill yourself. Please. Star Report. Please kill yourself. Mr. Chorsar's name would not be in my live. I already know that. So you can come up with as many cute little people as you want to be. he would not be in my life, and he would not be saying what you're saying. So the dude was just rocking back and forth. Why does this? What does this do? What is this? Is this like a? Is this warming up? What is that? What is this? What is this rocking? The white guy with the guy with the white shirt. He's on the far right of the picture. He's got a larger hat. He's got a little bit larger hat. It almost looks like a kufi. He's got a long white beard. He looks like Merlin, but he's just rocking back and forth. I don't understand that. It just gets to me. Really, really gets to me because I just don't understand it. I don't understand faith. All I know is that they're all about money. Everything is about money. Jewish people are about money. Islamic people are about money. Christians are about money. It's all about the cash. How do you think they function? They function off of donations. Donations, gifts. They function off of that. I'm gonna put Terrence Crawford that like button. Salute to you, Cougar. I see you, sir. I see you. Yes, hit that like button and donate. This is a donor program. If you want to get a wrench, I'll get you a wrench if you donate money to me. That it comes at a price. If you're gonna be in here, you can say whatever you want. Just know that I'm here for the money. This is a value for value show. You watch, you get the content that you yearn for, and I get paid in the interim. And if you can't get that much, at least send people my way. I need eyeballs and ears. Make sure that you do that. I'd appreciate it. But this is the weird state of affairs in which we live. Yeah. That was cute. Cause you be yourself. Cause you just be yourself. You don't have to take on somebody else's identity. Whatever you are hiding behind the Star Report name, it's a shame we can't sue you. It's a shame that Mr. George Arthurian can't sue you for being a jackass using his name.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio meeting with Israeli officials following the strike inside Qatar last week. As Christian Benavides reports, President Trump wrote a letter to NATO members about the war in Ukraine.
Notice she said the Latina lady's name. I mispronounced it, but she said it correctly, but she didn't pronounce it's Qatar. The proper pronunciation is Qatar. Qatar. It's Qatar. Thank you, Cougar. At least I got an ally. It's funny. That's what I was saying. Kill yourself. Fake star. Fake choice star terrain. But she said that name right. But anyway.
Urging them to stop purchasing Russian oil.
The Israeli military struck more targets inside Gaza this weekend as Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Tel Aviv Sunday, where he is set to meet with Israeli officials about the ongoing war against Hamas. On the agenda, discussion about Israel's strike in Qatar targeting Hamas officials last week.
But I was very unhappy about the way that went down.
Our relationship with Israel is going to remain strong, and sometimes, things happen or.
Why do some people have masks on and other people don't have masks? What is the distinction? What is who? Salute to Cougar. I appreciate that, sir. But yeah. So I really don't get it. I don't get it. I may never get it. Why are there some people in masks? Some people aren't in masks. The prime minister, for goddamn sake, is not wearing a mask. He's got the yarmulke on. The same thing with the Secretary of State. He has the yarmulke on, but he's not wearing a mask. Why are some people wearing masks? Is that for being so they're covert? I don't know. He goes rocking. Look like he's about to get ready for some double dutch or something, or he's about to rock the mic. He's like, I'm about to go in. I'm about to go in. I'm not laughing at. I just think it's all faiths are weird like that. There's Christianity where they pray. That's weird enough. You're just talking out loud, saying words. Prayer changes things. Prayer helps. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. You're just saying things to air, to nothing, to no one, the unknown and the unknowable, and it's nothing. They're not afraid of the Goyim. Yeah, I guess not. The Goyim was supposed to protect Jews, right? I can't remember. Is it the Goyim? I can't remember what it's called. I thought the Goyim was there to protect them. They just don't want to breathe our air. Well, whose air are they breathing then? So this is a holy site, but this guy's got a phone. There's cameras everywhere. I mean, so I would imagine that it's not that holy of a site because they allow cameras. They have ancient texts. They have scrolls in front of them, pages. See, I think the guy with the white shirt with the beard, he must be some kind of holy man or something. He's definitely a witch doctor, I would say. I think he's a witch doctor. The legend was in the building. Goyim are human animals to them. Yeah, and I thought Goyim's protected them. Didn't they protect them? They made them out of like a dreidel. They made them out of clay, didn't they? And they protect. Let me make sure. So I want to make clear. I'm looking for it right now. Oh, you know what? A term used by Jewish people for a non-Jewish person. I'm thinking about a golem. The golem. My dumb ass. The golem. A golem is an animated humanoid figure in Jewish folklore, usually made from inanimate material like clay or stone, brought to life by mystical means, here we go, to serve a human creator. Most famous stories feature the 16th century golem of Prague, created by Rabbi Judah Loew ben Bezalel, who protected the Jewish community, but also sometimes became unruly due to misunderstanding commands. The term can also refer to a similar concept in other fictional works and games, like the rock-type Pokemon species and the creatures in Minecraft. Oh my god. I look like a golem? Well, thank you. That's just my ugly mug. Thank you for that, Cougar. I appreciate it. Goyers. Oh, that's the Fuentes stuff, right? Isn't that the Doesn't he have the Goyers? Fuentes? Is that right? Did I say it right? Rottweiler? The Goyers? I don't even know what a golem looks like. I gotta look it up. But I'll continue with the video.
סליחה חבר'ה, לא... מאבטח אפשר, אנחנו לא רואים. עצור, אתה לא יכול לעמוד שם. לא. מאבטח. הזמינו אותנו לצלם, לא אותך. אפשר אלינו? אדוני ראש הממשלה, אפשר טיפה אחורה?
Secretary of State Marco Rubio has arrived in Israel this morning. He says he'll question Israeli officials about how they see a way forward in Gaza. Israel attacked Hamas operatives in Qatar last week, which upended efforts to bring an end to the conflict in the Middle East. Before leaving for Israel, Rubio said President Trump is unhappy about the strike, but it will not shake U.S. support for Israel.
Who said there's a war in the streets and there's a war in the Middle East? Who said that? First person who said that gets a hand clap from me. That's all you get. Who said there's a war in the streets and there's a war in the Middle East? Who said it? Somebody got to know. And then he said, even though it seems heaven sent, we ain't ready to see a black president. Enron? Not Enron. Ayn Rand? No. I think you're trying to say Ayn Rand. But that's not right either. There's a war in the streets and there's a war in the Middle East. Andre 3000. Now, goddamn, what is it called? The word that first came to mind is cooning. But what is it called? Not clowning. What the hell? Oh, not roasting. Trolling. There we go. That's a trolling begin. Damn sure it wasn't Andre 3000. Gonna say it's Andre 3000. That's just trolling right there. Pac, exactly. Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur said that. He said that in 1995, I think it was, or 94, 95, and they just released it in 98. And then they it's been deemed double platinum, that greatest hits album. But he said that in 95. There's a war in the streets and there's a war in the Middle East. Same things going on back then, same things going on right now. Just a fact. Just facts.
Sometimes, things happen or come up in those relationships that perhaps you're not 100% aligned with or what have you, but it's not going to change the nature of our relationship with the Israelis, but we are going to have to talk about it.
Friday, President Trump met with Qatar's prime minister discussing the fallout from the Israeli attack.
They continue to mispronounce Qatar. It's Qatar. It's Qatar. Qatar. 2 syllables. That's it. Qatar. Qatar. You keep mispronouncing it as Qatar. It's Qatar. Just a quick Google reference, and you'll have the lips that show you what it looks like, and that if you have the sound on, it'll have the sound and let you know it's Qatar. Israel does not exist. Who the hell was Lord Balfour? I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, Cougar. No clue what the hell you're talking about. Please verify your status. Let me know you're okay mentally. Are you sipping? What's going on? Israel does not exist. I don't know what the hell that means. Who the hell was Lord Balfour? What do you mean? I don't even know who Lord Balfour is. Is that a character from a story or something like that? And Israel does not exist? Are you sure? Have you seen a map? I'll show you one. Look. That's Israel. Israel was created by the Balfour Doctrine. Okay, that is starting to come back to me now. That Balfour, the Balfours, I'm probably mispronouncing it now. But the Balfours, they had some kind of treaty or something like that. Palestine. There is really no Palestine, quote unquote. There's not in the same sense a geographic specification known as Palestine. There's Gaza, which houses or keeps Palestinians, but there's really no state of Palestine. There's no established, nationhood of Palestinians. That's what the late Charlie Cook was fighting against in a lot of ways. He was fighting against the idea that there was such thing as Palestine, and there really isn't. There really is no geographic designation for that at all.
Let's get the latest on the Gaza war. National security analyst and host of the Strat podcast, Hal Kempfer, still here with me. Hal, thanks for sticking around. Take a look at this. This is Secretary of State Marco.
No, it sounds like Charlie Cook, but I'm saying Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. It was and is always it was and always will be Palestine. Okay, so you show me on a map. Send me a link to where Palestine is located. Then I'll gladly retract my statement. But you misspelled it. Yes, I did. I honestly did. I had Cook up first, but I since changed it. Not too soon, either. I did misspell. I did have Charlie Cook up there for a little while because it's my dumb ass. Because I'm listening to people speaking. It sounds like are they saying Charlie Cook? Because I didn't really know him that much until then I was like, oh, that's that guy that debates people. I remember seeing clips of him on YouTube before. He used to debate people. And that's what reminded me the most. Not his. I think he may have been at the convention. I could be wrong, but I know he was prominent within the MAGA faction. And he says, yeah, Rottweilers are saying, but you misspelled it yesterday. That's because I'm stupid. I'm dumb. I need, more money so I can get a better education. That's why I need money. That might be my new fundraiser so I can go to school. Y'all have to pay my way to school so I can get educated. All right, I'm gonna go back.
Rubio, he was getting on the plane, heading over to the Middle East. He's making a swing through Israel, and we expect he will land on Sunday.
No, the reason why I joined the military is because of money and benefits. That's the reason why I joined the military. Because of money and benefits. Rottweiler, if you must know. Which I'm getting right now. Money and benefits. So, kind of worked out for me. A lot of people say, oh, my recruiter lied to me. Oh, I was supposed to get 20 years in. I was supposed to get my recruiter never lied to me. He always told the truth. He was like, Saunders, you're going to make bank on your first day of boot camp. That's when you first get paid. And that was 2007. That was 18 years ago. 18 years ago. And I'm still getting the pay. I haven't missed a deposit since September 25th, 2007. I've never missed a deposit from the United States government. Never, not once. Let's go back to all right. 0.
Day. This is him speaking with cameras earlier today, actually, doing a little bit of a media availability. A live look at the White House, by the way, 5:19 in the nation's capital. Rubio is heading to Israel, and this is coming, Hal, amid signs of growing frustration from the White House, directed at Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. His visit comes days after an Israeli strike targeted Hamas officials in Qatar. President Trump told reporters this week that he was very unhappy about the strike in Doha, saying that it does not advance Israel or America's goal. This is the first time I've had a chance to speak with you, Hal, since this strike took place. Did Israel break an unwritten rule of the war when they carried this out?
You know, Austin, one could say they kind of did, which was they struck a U.S. ally. One thing, and many know about this, but we have military bases all around the Middle East. We have a very large presence in the Middle East. We have a very significant imprint right there next to Doha.
Another thing I would not understand is why we have so many bases around the country, the different countries. I mean, it's like it's a weird thing because like recreation and like while you're doing your work and everything, you go different places. You can go to sushi bars in Japan. You can go to different Middle Eastern foods and in the Middle East. It's just weird. Christopher Perkins, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing real worldwide media news work daily, Scholar Saunders. Thank you, Christopher Perkins. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. But what he's saying this gentleman here is talking about we have all kinds of people all over the different places of the United States, beyond outside of the United States. I mean, and for no reason at all. There's no reason for it. Absolutely no reason for it. None. There's absolutely no reason why we should have these bases. Salute, King Hazy. Salute to you, sir. Salute. Oh, God. Okay, I'm just trying to get everything together. Hold on. I'm going to make sure I salute the people that support me. Keep cooking, Scott. That's all I got to do. That's all I have to do. Just keep on cooking. I will get there one day. I will get there. I will get 500 million subscribers, 2 billion subscribers, 10 billion subscribers, 500 billion subscribers. You have multiple accounts. I'm gonna get there. Just putting in the work now. Let's see what happens.
We have a very large Air Force base, and U.S. Central Command has some things there, and we do a lot of things out of that facility. And we have a very close relationship with the government of Qatar in that regard. And they struck sovereign territory with a U.S. ally in the Persian Gulf. And when they did that, they were striking Hamas. Now, we are in negotiation. A lot of countries are in negotiations with Hamas, trying to come up with some sort of ceasefire agreement. That's been going on for a very, very long time. This is the country where Hamas leadership hangs out, and yes, it does look strange.
Now, this is what's strange. Did you see that nigga? Hold on, I'm gonna go back. Hold on, look at this nigga. Look at this nigga.
Fire agreement. That's been going on for a very, very long time. This is the country where Hamas.
You see that? That's the country they live in. This guy right right near the van. He heard the explosion. He looked back. Then he just kept walking. Like, it's another day in the neighborhood. Like, insanity. Just bomb them. Just nuke them. Just all that needs to be wiped. Everything you see on screen, all that needs to be shadows, like in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All that just needs to be completely shadows and just fallout. Just complete. And people have to have cancer and burns and all kinds of maladies decades after the bombs fall. That's what's supposed to happen. That will secure peace. That will show that America and Israel aren't paper tigers. Israel is pretty much not a paper tiger. It's pretty strong in its convictions. America's wishy-washy, kind of like, we might do something, we might not do something. But this guy on this, what you see next to the speaker, he's looking down. He's got brown skin and dark brown hair. He's just like, He looked back. He looked back. Let me show it again. He looked back and was like, oh, okay.
Some sort of ceasefire agreement. That's been going on for a very, very long time. This is the country where Hamas leadership hangs out.
He just kept moving. He was like, oh, explosions. I've been dealing with this since I was a young boy. Oh, they're blowing stuff up. What are you going to do? There goes their neighborhood. I didn't see him shake his head. He might even shake his head. He just is like, oh, well. Who is John Galt? Who is John Galt?
And yes, it does look strange that people are suffering in the Gaza Strip while the Hamas leadership are living in, rather sumptuous quarters in Doha, a very, advanced, modern, city where there is no devastation, and that's been brought many times. But the situation is that, they're working with, the U.S. has representatives gone to Doha. Israelis have sent representatives to Doha for negotiations. Obviously, Egypt, Qatar, others have been involved in these long negotiations, and they went in and hit them with the.
They showed it again. It was a very slight hint. He wasn't like. It was like. He kept moving. He's used to it. He's probably in his 40s, 50s, something like that. He's used to this. And we bitch and moan and complain about America. Oh, I'm moving to Canada. I'm moving living in the splendor of middle-class life. Most people, even poor people, even the poorest people in America are far richer than the richest person in Iran or even in China or Japan. The poorest person is far. You can be a billionaire in China. I don't care. You can be a billionaire in Japan. The poorest person in America has a greater advantage over you. They have the U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence backing them. Japan has a Declaration of Independence that was modeled after Douglas MacArthur. He designed he drew up a constitution for them that was similar to ours, and that's why they became a powerhouse. No kidding. They became an economic powerhouse afterwards. And they didn't harbor any ill will towards Americans. They didn't say they struck us. We're going to strike back even harder, 10 times harder, with warfare. Same thing with Germany. Germans don't harbor anger for UK and Americans because they bombed Berlin and tens of thousands of civilians were killed. Are you kidding me?
This with these air launched rockets. That's another issue from what I saw where they launched the rockets actually went across at least a couple of countries' sovereign territory, to include Saudi Arabia. So with all of that said, this has really put all discussions on a ceasefire on hold. There is really nowhere to go. And remember, Hamas also has offices or representation
They keep showing the same footage. But I think, now that I remember, I don't want to be too emotional about it, but I was just thinking out loud, why they don't use nukes. Nukes are expensive. To use a nuclear weapon costs, I think, maybe tens of billions of dollars. It's a lot cheaper for ground troops, a lot cheaper for air assault, just conventional weapons, but nuclear weapons cost billions of dollars to employ, to use. So, seriously, I think that's the reason why most United States doesn't use nuclear weapons. But I still think they could have used nuclear weapons on Saudi Arabia and Iran following the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001. That's just me. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. They really could have utilized every option, including the nuclear option, to show a message, to send a message like, where you did this against us, we're coming back after you 10 times harder, with more force, more anger, more strength than you can even fathom. Yeah, that's true too, the radiation, but it's not the same as, I don't think it's as difficult. King Hazy has a good point, but he's saying not only that nuclear weapons have worldly implications, that's radiation, but it doesn't have the same effect as, Chernobyl or even 3 Mile Island, even though that didn't have a nuclear waste. It was just a meltdown. But Chernobyl and Hiroshima and Nagasaki didn't have huge effects on people that were not who were first attacked. The United States, from what I understand, I could be wrong, but it does not it did not fall into the fallout plain where the bombs struck. I could be wrong. Please correct me, my dumb ass, if I'm wrong. But I would take a little bit of radiation, and if we can combat that radiation with cancer drugs and stuff like that, then that'll work out. But that's how I see it. Nuke them, kill them all, and let God sort them out. There is no God, but you know what I mean. That's why I just am stupid. I just would like to see that happen. Let the billions of dollars be, use the billions of dollars. Drop these bombs on these sons of bitches and let them cower in fear. Let them see their children die before their eyes. Let them see their parents die. Let them see their friends and family die. Let themselves be melted against nothingness. Be completely turned into shadows. And then Rottweiler are going to say amen because I'm preaching. I'm cooking.
I should say, in Egypt and Turkey. Turkey, of course, being also a NATO country as well. And both of those countries are kind of wondering, if you look at the rationale by which Israel or Netanyahu struck Hamas in Qatar, could they extend that to those other countries as well? So there is much for Secretary Rubio to talk about. And by the way, I would mention that President Trump and others have basically, in so many words, condemned what Israel did. They didn't see it as, if not outright condemnation, saying, look, this didn't help. You actually made things a lot worse. So there is much for Secretary Rubio to talk about with Benjamin Netanyahu and also other Israeli officials.
So a live look at the White House and a live look at Gaza. This is the camera that's planted in southern Israel looking over the Gaza skyline. The time right now, Israel Standard Time, about 22 minutes past midnight there. Hal, one thing that we've been watching on the battlefield in the enclave is Gaza City. The IDF is preparing a major offensive in Gaza City. It's been speculated that living hostages could be in that region. Israel has had two main objectives when this war started. They had to when it started. Those objectives were to rescue the hostages and to eliminate Hamas. Give us an update on both of those objectives, if you will, starting with the hostages. What are you watching for hostage-wise as the IDF moves into Gaza City?
As they're moving into Gaza City, what I expect they're going to be doing is, and it's not just speculation, I'm sure you have to remember, Israel, with the amount of political pressure on Israeli intelligence, Shin Bet, military intelligence, others, have basically leaving no stone unturned to try and figure out where those hostages are. And even if they don't know exactly where they are, they probably have a pretty reasonable idea of where they are, at least where they should be. So as they're uncovering terrain in Gaza City, this urban terrain, they're going to be doing a lot of things that we just don't see underground. They're going to be using robots. They're going to be using other means to try and find these hostages by any way they can. And of course, what they want to do is they want to catch Hamas off guard. The big fear is that they go in there, do something, and the Hamas guards decide to martyr themselves and also to kill the hostages as part of that. So they want to get in there and catch the Hamas operatives, the Hamas combatants, if you will, off guard, so they can get in there and rescue live hostages alive. That's not an easy thing to pull off, particularly in this type of terrain, particularly in this type of combat environment. Never easy to pull off, period. But that's what they're going to be looking. So that's the first thing I see with the hostages. Then the second thing, of course, is they're going to be basically taking out Hamas at every opportunity. But they want to get, they don't want to just kill them all. All right. And that's and don't mistake what I'm saying. I mean, they have no problem with dispatching Hamas operatives. That's not the issue. But they want to capture some alive because they want the intelligence. This is time-sensitive intelligence on wherever the hostages might be. So they're going to be probably doing some things where they could have easily taken out someone, but they might make a little extra effort to get them alive so they can interrogate them and maybe gather some very time-sensitive critical intelligence that could save the life of a hostage or hostages.
Update me also on the status of one of their other main objectives, which is to eliminate Hamas, not only in Gaza City, but as a whole. Is there any way to reliably measure how much progress they've made on that front?
That is a very difficult one to do. Obviously, one of the clearest metrics, and this is what they're applying now, is taking terrain. If you seize and hold terrain, that's a metric. That's a very clear battlefield metric. We control this village. We control the city. We control this area. That is probably the oldest, most clear battlefield metric you can have. Now, with wars where you're going against terrorist groups, insurgent groups, stuff like that, they operate in the same terrain that we ostensibly control, so to speak, like in Vietnam. Ourselves and the South Vietnamese government would claim to control terrain, but the Viet Cong were operating that terrain. So what we started doing during Vietnam that got a lot of criticism is that we started using other metrics. One of the metrics out there is enemy killed. It's or as often been talked about, the body count, if you will. And that became a metric. So it'd say, okay, they have this many people or this many combatants, and we killed this many, killed or captured this many combatants. Therefore, they only have this many left.
I'm stopping right there. How about the not just enemy combatants? Let's talk about the civilians. Bring it to civilians. And if you can't kill the civilians, disrupt and destroy their capacity to make war. And of course, like I said before, with the enemy combatants, totally annihilate their soul of battle, their want and their will to fight. That is what needs to be completely destroyed. It needs to be crushed. Their soul of battle. It happened to the Japanese. It happened to the Germans. Everybody saying, oh, that's World War II. That's old. It's all about principles, kids. It's all about principles. The same principles apply going back millennia. All the way back to the various wars that happened in Europe and Asia. It's the same idea. So I just think that they shouldn't focus on the enemy combatants. They should be focused on civilians. They should be focused on the people that are drawing on the resources. Like they said, oh, there's a famine in Gaza. As there should be. There goddamn shouldn't be a famine. And they should be stripped naked too. And huddled into a room until they're blasted away by a bomb or something like that. I mean, this is war. This is war, ladies and gentlemen. This is a disgusting display of humanity. But it has to be disgusting. It has to. The Roots had a song. It's an effed up job, but somebody's got to do it. It's an effed up job, but somebody's got to do it. And we should be the ones who are on the front line. We should be on the vanguard for ensuring America's security and our prowess on the world stage. We haven't been ourselves for the past 24 years, especially, matter of fact, let's say 46 years. 1979. With the Iran's, bluster and rage and its belligerent attitude and its horrific actions that it displayed with the hostages, that was a sign. That was a definite sign that we have to, look at the various people who are under us. The people that have the control. Like Iran, they have the control. I'm just gonna say it. They have control. They have the higher ground. Because they know that America's, coochie. I want to say the P word, but America's soft. America got soft. And it got softer and softer and softer until the morning, September 11, 2001, that was it. That was it. Tell me the Cowboys are up. Giants down. Okay, so last time I saw it was 10-13. What is it now? $17-16. Okay, got you. It's a little bit of levity, a little bit of leisure in between all this war talk. Take that jersey. What are you talking about? What jersey? What are you talking about? Take that jersey. I don't know what you mean, Rottweiler. Are they heading into the halftime, or is this the third quarter already? Oh. Take that jersey. Oh, okay. Jersey from TTN. Jersey Giants, third quarter. Okay. Gotcha. So he's saying the New Jersey Giants. Okay. Yeah, I'm pulling for the Cowboys. I want the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. It'll be 30 years. They got rid of Micah Parsons. That was special. Maybe Jerry knows something we don't know. I don't know. The Cowboys are the wealthiest team, period, of all teams in the world. I think it's $12 to $15 billion. I'm talking about all sports, every sport, all sports. Cowboys are the wealthiest team on the planet. Basketball, hockey, baseball, football. I think racing teams. They're still the wealthiest. They're still the wealthiest team ever. I think ever of all time, and definitely of this time. Parsons had a rotten attitude. I didn't really, see his attitude too much, but he's really happy with the Packers. He thinks he's going to do great things. We'll see. Do the Cowboys and the Packers play? I think they do play this season. I would love to see that game. That's going to be a special game. That's going to be, it's going to be rife with tension. So I'm going to continue this video, though. Had to take a break.
I have done that count in variety of circumstances, exercises, wars, whatever. That is one metric. It's not a great metric, particularly in this one, because, for example, one of the brigades are going up against, that brigade has completely recharged itself with new recruits. So as the Israelis go in there, they recruit more Hamas members to fill up the brigade. Do they have the training, experience, capability of the previous combatants or whatever operatives of that brigade before? Yeah, probably not. But in raw numbers, they actually will start filling out the ranks, and they are there, and they still have to be dealt with. So that is metrics for success are tough. What I'm looking at now is that Israel's metrics are, what do we physically control? And that's why they're going in and taking Gaza City, the last big big urban space that they don't control, and a couple places south that they don't control. And they're saying, look, we can't use some of these other metrics. We're just going to go with the oldest metric in the book, attack and seize the objective. That's what we're going to do. And that's what they're doing.
So I got to show you this post. The Times of Israel has this. They say documents have emerged detailing Hamas's exploitation of medical facilities in.
So bomb the medical facilities. Bomb the Gaza hospitals. Bomb them all. I say kill them all. I don't understand it. We didn't give a goddamn before. Why are we giving a goddamn that? Oh, just war theory. Oh, they have to show their weapon before we show ours. Oh, they have to be a known combatant before they have to be. Can't be a 3-year-old with an AK-47 or a woman strapped, with explosives on her chest. It's really sad. I mean, they're really smart people. It's like they do dumb things. I'm a really dumb person that does smart things. That's the difference. I can do a smart thing, but I'm still dumb. But there's smart people that do dumb things. Mainly are military. You have generals that have years of experience and academic acumen under them. Decades. And they're so horrible. Look at Petraeus, a.k.a. Betrayus. He was horrific. He was a main leader of the movement for just war theory. That was horrific.
Gaza for military purposes, including sheltering and harboring its operatives and leaders. You sent me this story earlier, Hal. We already knew Hamas uses hospitals, but what did we learn from the new docs?
What we learned from this is, and it just reinforces it. Of course, some will say, well, it came from the Israelis. So they'll say whatever they want to say to somehow discount this. The issue is, under international law, there are certain things that are protected places. Hospitals, generally protected. Schools, protected. Religious facilities like mosques, protected. Churches, protected. There are certain things that you're not supposed to deliberately target in war, all right, under the Geneva Convention and what's generally called the international law of war. As we have...
see? The Geneva Convention. That took place after, I think, World War II. They're like, whoa, we just... Tokyo, Berlin, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, yeah. But then we had Korea, and then we have Vietnam, and it's like, did we bomb certain villages and so? And who will be held accountable? Would there be, a courts martial against American military leaders if they were to bomb these places? I can understand that, but I still don't understand it. Like, bomb them. Just bomb them. Bomb the hospitals, bomb the schools, bomb all of them. Don't build the schools. Don't build the sewer systems. Don't build the hospitals. Bomb them. That's what needs to happen.
Seen in this war, Israel has attacked hospitals. At times, they've had to attack schools. Every single time they say, look, they're being used by Hamas. They're being used for military purposes. What this does is it...
Even if they weren't used by Hamas for military purposes, hit the children. Say, what is it? Save the kids, F the kids. Forget the children. Let them burn. Let them die. Let them suffer. The blood won't be on America's hands. We didn't start it. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. I don't want to say any much else, so I get a copyright strike. But you know what I mean? That's what it is. They started it. They initiated physical force against the United States of America and its allies, namely Israel. So I don't know what kind of radiation was created after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I don't know what the winds were. I don't know if the scientists even can, if they really even can, thought, aren't there gonna be some radiation after this? It's gonna go around the world, right? It's gonna hit the winds, right? It's gonna hit the Gulf Stream or something like that. Did they have a meeting over that? Did they just say, look, we're just gonna bomb the S out of them? We're just gonna bomb them. Forget it. Who cares?
Reinforces what Israel's been saying the whole time, which is, look, this is part of the tactics, techniques, and procedures, the TTPs, of Hamas. This is their doctrine. This isn't like a one-off. This isn't something where there happened to be some Hamas operatives that wandered into a hospital or something like this. They deliberately, in a very premeditated fashion, use these protected sites for military purposes, which means if they're being used for military purposes, legally speaking, under international law, they're no longer protected sites. So I think I don't think it's going to really sway anybody that much one way or the other. I think if you're already thinking that Israel's in the right in doing what's doing, you're going to be reinforced by this. And if you think that they're absolutely wrong and what they're doing is horrible and it's genocide, you're going to look at this and discount it because it came from the Israelis. But there might be some in the center that say, okay, that does tend to reinforce what Israel's been saying. And I'm sure they're going to get a lot of review by non-Israeli reviewers. They're going to want to share this in a way that third parties, if you will, can look at it and say, yeah, this looks legit, this looks real, and can make some sort of determination. I don't think it's going to change what's happening in the United Nations. That would be a hope that would change something in the UN or the Security Council. But frankly, that place is so polarized, if you will. I just don't think anything's going to change what's happening in the United Nations or the Security Council anytime soon.
We do need to talk about the Russia-Ukraine war. Hal and I are going to stick around for one more segment. By the way, Marco Rubio is on his way to Israel, and we, of course, will be following his trip closely tomorrow here on Live Now.
This is from yesterday, of course, but I just wanted to show it because it had such great imagery of that guy. That one dude just said, okay, it's a bomb. Okay. Not running, not, just walking away casually. Another day in the neighborhood. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I just needed a few more views for today. And I'm trying to push more watch hours. So I appreciate it. If you can't give me money, which I would really, encourage you to do, at least give me ears and eyeballs. People that can watch and listen to my show And I'll be very appreciative for if you subscribe. Thank you very much. Take care.